Chickens were domesticated by man as early as 5000 BC. The chicken was brought westward to the Middle East by at least 2000 BC. Our early recorded histories tell of chickens being used by man for eggs, meat, and sport. The use of chickens for eggs and meat developed from man's hunting and food gathering activities. However, the use of chickens for sport grew out of the bird's natural tendency to fight. The domestic chicken probably descended from the red jungle fowl of India or the gray jungle fowl of Malaysia. In the wild, these birds are territorial. The male rules a harem of female bird and their young within their territory. When challenged by a rival male fowl, these birds will fight, often to the death, to maintain their territory. Dr. Glide Marsh is a poultry scientist and professor emeritus at Ohio State University.
The game rooster, the gamecock, was probably the first of our domestic chickens that arose from these wild jungle fowl.
The bird's natural tendency to fight has fascinated man for centuries.
The birds fight because they're genetically designed to do this. It's part of their very nature.
In India, the Institutes of Manu, systems of laws and rules of conduct, contain specific regulations concerning cockfighting. These laws are at least 30 centuries old, and cockfighting, at least informally, must be older. As cockfighting moved westward, it spread to the Persians, Macedonians, and Greeks. Eventually, it was taken up by the Romans, where it remained popular for centuries. In England, by the reign of Henry II, it had become a popular sport with schoolboys. Henry VIII elevated it to a royal diversion when he had a cockpit constructed at his palace. In America, George Washington raised gamecocks. President Andrew Jackson was a gamefowl enthusiast, and Abraham Lincoln, in his early days, refereed cockfights. Today, throughout the world, enthusiasm for gamefowl and cockfighting is strong. This in spite of opposition to the sport, which has existed in varying degrees for centuries. Dr. Clifton Bryant is a sociologist who has studied cockfighting and gamefowl enthusiasts. His work has been published in various sociological journals.
Cockfighting not only is perhaps the oldest spectator sport on earth, it may very well be the widest spread, the most widespread sport on earth. It is found in almost every tropical and many temperate societies of the world, and is enormously popular in much of Latin America and in some parts of Asia. Enthusiasm is not exactly the correct word for what people feel about cockfighting in the Philippines. They're zany about it. It's like a national sport in the Philippines. Every small town has a cockpit, a pavilion, a coliseum, something of this sort. Some of the ones around the larger cities are very large, very spacious, very deluxe, and attract enormous numbers of people.
Over time, there have been various arguments against cockfighting.
Much of the objection in 19th century America to cockfighting, as with many other forms of diversion, had to do with the waste of time, and you should be applying yourself, working hard, trying to make profit and things of this sort.
Today, there is opposition to the use of animals in medical research, as well as for food and fur production.
Somewhere around 1930 in this country, the attitude toward animals shifted from that of an instrumental posture, that is, the idea of animals as tools, as implements. The horse pulls your plow, it pulls your wagon, the cow gave milk, that kind of thing. We moved into a posture of seeing animals in a more of an effective emotional sense, in that animals were basically another variation of human. At any rate, the Bambi syndrome, as it was known, where we began to anthropomorphize animals, we began to project a human quality on animals. This is when we begin to see the opposition to many animal activities, such as trapping, hunting, cockfighting, rodeo, and similar types of sports.
Even conventional farming techniques are challenged on the basis of treatment of livestock. The movement to abolish cockfighting is now spread to banning the ownership of game fowl for any purpose, including show birds or perpetuation of the breed.
The abolition of cockfighting would have a negative effect as far as the maintenance of the game bird as one of the breeds of poultry. Some of the breeding of the broiler chickens that we're all eating goes back to game roosters. The Cornish game bird out of Britain, which was a heavyweight gamecock, was actually bred into almost all of our commercial meat-type chickens that we have now.
Game fowl and broiler chickens share many characteristics. For example, when a rooster comes of age, it faces Courage Day, when the bird's natural tendency to defend territory expresses itself. It's common to most breeds of chicken and is evidenced by the cock's crow, which can be heard in farmyards across the country. So, how does the life of a gamecock compare to that of a broiler chicken? Dr. Marsh offers some interesting observations.
The commercial broiler chicken that we have goes through Colonel Sanders, lives about 42, 43 days, and that's the end of it. Many game roosters can live, I've seen a few of them, 12, 13 years old. If we did not breed this bird in the first place, to fight, he'd never have the opportunity to live to arrive at a Courage Day.
Like any recreational hobby, this market has an economic impact. Food, medication, supplies, and labor are all required to raise game fowl.
Anyone that has any success as far as maintaining game fowl has found that they have to provide 24-hour attention 7 days a week to these birds.
One group dedicated to the successful perpetuation of game fowl is the United Game Fowl Breeders Association, or UGBA, formed in 1977. The membership is spread across the United States and includes people from all walks of life.
Well, it is an expensive hobby. Research conducted in 1988 showed that the average game fowl breeder spends $13 per year per bird on feed alone. If you add in other costs such as maintenance of facilities and veterinary supplies, that average cost goes up to more than $20 per bird per year. With an average flock size of nearly 200 birds, you can see that the game fowl breeder has a tremendous impact on local economies.
It takes a lot of maintenance. You know, these pens have to be moved once a week. These roosters have to be watered and fed every day. And for instance, I run about 800 to 1,000 cocks here, and there's 3 guys that works here every day.
Economics and maintenance are only part of the UGBA's concerns. Their activities include meetings and newsletters devoted to the perpetuation of healthy game fowl and the game fowl industry. Their annual convention is well attended and provides an opportunity to meet fellow hobbyists from around the country.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, it's a great group of people, fantastic, just old-time companionship, sportsmanship, breeding of game fowl.
These game fowl fanciers have been coming here, I guess, 9 or 10 years, and I love them. They've become good friends. Some of them are business associates now. And during the recession we had in the 80s, this group supported me more than any other group. These people are responsible in a large part for the success that I have today.
The UGBA is also involved in charity work and informational programs to raise awareness of their hobby. Dr. Bryant surveyed this group as part of a sociological study to determine the value structure of the game fowl enthusiast.
We have published some of this data in a recent sociological journal article, and basically it shows that that the value structure of cockfighters is essentially that of the average American, and that the only thing that makes them particularly unique in terms of character and disposition is fighting cocks.
Dr. Bryant's study found that statistically, this group is slightly more rural than the general population. They tend to be married and many are self-employed. However, the negative stereotype often applied to this group was not supported by the study.
They're simply doing what they had been doing traditionally in this country, but it has become simply no longer the fashion in some circles to do these kinds of things.
We see people that are just as enthusiastic about boating, skiing, or other athletic competition, or movie making, all the arts. We have people that, for some reason, just seem to develop enthusiasm for this type of activity that's individual to them. And we have people that are just all wrapped up in their interest in game chickens.
So you don't have to agree with what people in cockfighting say they get out of it. Simply accept the fact that they think that they do, that they feel that they do, that they believe that they do, and that they believe that as an American living in a democracy, that they have a right to do these kinds of things, because this is part of the American heritage too, permitting people to do the things that they do.
That's one thing, it's hard to buy a good bloodline chicken. There's a man give me the cock out in Georgia. I know him, a friend of mine, who used to live up here. And I got the hen out in the high that he come out of. He's a pure hatch, but he's two different kinds of hatch. He's a half Murphy and half McLean. So you've got Murphy, McLean, Blueface, Cook. There are a dozen different kinds of hatch chickens. That chicken there, every stag I ever fought down him, they're just as tame as they can be. I can put this chicken up in a pen now and keep him 3 days. They just walk in the chicken house, get him, pitch him outside. They stay out there 15 minutes, just walk out and pick him up. They won't fight you or nothing. I'd offered a $100 bill for that cock right there.
You wouldn't sell him for that, would you?
Well, what, in other words, if you're going to fight chicken, if you sell the best you got, you're right.
Where did the hens come from that you breeding?
Well, they came out in they're same as his. They came out in the old cock and the old hen. Of course, he's 10 times prettier when he's running out. Like I say, in pens like this, their feathers don't mature. If he'd have been running out, his tail would have been like that. But in a pen, they don't mature like they do if we're in a.
Why do people like cockfighting so much, Troy?
I don't know. It's just like anything. It's just like drinking or playing poker or anything else. It's just a habit. Just like horse racing or anything else. It's just a sport that people like. The second time I ever fought that chicken, he got his breastbone cut in two right there. There's a little bitty knot right there now, you can fit it. And I mean, it was cut plumb in two. And he stood on one leg, he didn't have no use for one of his legs. And he stood on one leg and whipped that other chicken.
Game,
and I fought him 7 times since then. And if that chicken hits one lick, he gets up close to you and hits a lick, I'll bet $100 he'll cut you every time he hits at you. In other words, that's the way you want his fights, want his ability to cut. Now, a lot of chickens shuffle all over you and won't cut you. In other words, chicken's got to cut to win. And my God, he cuts. A lot of people, I think, I've seen chickens fitted when they just act like it's plumb crazy. And if you know how to feed stuff, I'd say it won't hurt them. I've ordered keeps now, paid big money for them. God damn, I can't do no good with it.
Yeah.
Do better on my own, good with it. take the water away from them, and about 4 days before you fight them, and you just allow them so much water. That's the way you dry them out. It thickens their blood. When you dry a chicken, it thickens their blood, you see. So when they get cut, they won't bleed as bad. Well, most people fight chicken. They don't fight it for the money. They fight it for the sport. They're only 90% of it. Because there really not that much money to be made in game chicken fighting, unless a man just wins. You know, I mean, wins every derby. Chicken is a real fast chicken, and he shuffles a whole lot. You put a straight heel on him, it won't hang. He won't fight as good as will in a curved blade. A curved blade is a gaff that hangs. When it gets in the chicken, it'll hang in him. And then when the chicken sets down and starts shuffles, it just tears the chicken up on the inside of it. So if a gaff is straight, a shuffling chicken will shuffle all over the place and maybe never get that gaff in a chicken. Now, you take a sangler, what we call a sangler stroking chicken, that don't shuffle too much. It just hits and hits, you know what I'm talking about, a lick or two at a time, and don't shuffle. You don't want a real curved blade on him, because you won't get it hung up. If he does get it hung up, he won't struggle. See, a shuffling chicken, that's what makes him really shuffle. When a gaff hangs, the chicken just like a racehorse. He knows when that gaff is hung. The heeling can cause you to win a loser fight, no question about that. First go in the pit, after the bets and everything's all straightened up, and you'll back up to the score line, which is supposed to be 6 feet apart. Then you'll flush your chickens at one another. Then you take them back to the score line and set them down, and you've got a referee, when he says pitch, you turn them loose. Put them on the line. Hit them.
Come on. Get it.
If you'll get him in shape and take him to the pit and hit him up and hit him right, about all you have to do is just turn that chicken loose, and that chicken will about take care of itself. You know what I'm talking about. There's really not that much you can do for it. The only thing you've got to watch is when you're handling, just make sure that you don't let the other man run in and push a gaff all the way up in him. Not all the way up. You know what I mean? Kill him in the handle. You've got to watch that too. There are people, if you don't watch them, if they've got a gaff, you say a quarter of an inch, and they handle, they'll push it about this 4 till it goes. In other words, you've got to be in there and take care of your bird.
Get him ready! Hit him! Hook on! That's it! Catch it! What catch that, Rooster? Catch it!
He ran like a chick.
Well, if a chicken runs, and you've got, you know, just like I say, you can bring him back 3 times. And then if you don't show, he automatically loses. Of course, if he comes back and fights. In other words, a lot of times, you know, a chicken just like that out there the other day, now he run because he wanted to run. A lot of times, chicken maybe get hit in the head and he'll get what's called brained. And you won't know what he's done. And he'll fly plumb out in the pit. And you can bring him back and rub his head a lot of times, he'll come back and win a fight for you.
Work it up.
It's cool it down. Now, you take your legislature, they can get together if they want to and pass a law that you can fight chickens. But I don't think they'll ever do it. I'd like to see them legalize it. Give me a big pit out there in that bottom. Up that hollow there, they built a big pit up that hollow around the cinder blocks. It was a real nice one, man. Had big seats in it like they had in these theater houses. We had a nice snack bar there and everything. I'd say that it cost $10,000 to build that. And it operated, I'd say, approximately a year. Then they had an election over there and everything changed hands. And as soon as the officers changed, the first fight they had up there, they raided it. So you know, in other words, the people who was operating the pit had to fight the sheriff department stuff that come in. But if the one that come in had been in, which that was now was supporting, they could still run their pit.
3,
Same as that. Same as that.
Now, if a chicken gets brained, a lot of times you can rub him in the back of the head and in the roof of his mouth. You know what I'm talking about. And maybe or he's got a nerve pressing against his brain, maybe or something else. When you rub him, maybe it'll move that nerve over a little bit or something. I don't know what happens, but sometimes it helps and sometimes it don't.
Get ready. Hit him. That's all. Do what?
I've been into it about 20 years, raising and fighting. I'd say I've won 65% of my fights through my life. And that's not a very bad record.
We fucking do. If not for those pesky meddling kids.
Back to what I do. Catfish, Billy, baby, hello, how are you? You're power 9, rappers like a power line, fell into a swimming pool. I think I got the whole crew. Ooh, let me know what y'all wanna do. I bought a 30-pack of Creek water, baby boo. 99, out of 99.99, not mine, I got 100 proof.
They're gonna be sorry they were ever born. Who? All of them.
Let's go. Yeah, make it look easy. Hey, stand up guy, on 10 toes. Big body pull up in a Range Rover. I can change the whole game when I say so. I pull up, shut it down, yeah, they know. Running this game ain't a thing for me. I never switched up, no change in me. The only thing changing this season, you go against me, then you know that you tweaking, okay? Cause baby, I'm him, I be on 10. Two-stepping in the party, I do not dance. Watch how I move, make it look easy. Counting up wins, that's part of the plan. Blackmail taking up my head as a CC. That can't fail, I'm gonna make the reason with repeat. I'm knee deep, need a dub, best that you seek me. I'm too sick, yeah, I know I make it look easy. Yeah, tell them don't try to play me. Yeah, I'm drippy on the dirty. They can never count me out, they can never count me out, I know. They can never count me out, they can never count me out, I know. I make it look easy, make it look easy. I know I make it look easy, make it look easy. I know I make it look easy, too smooth I make it look easy. I know we make it look easy, make it look.
There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.